Hi guys, so I'm back with a new recipe. This is for a low carb, high fat breakfast. It's called a French toast egg puff, and I found this on Pinterest. It looks pretty promising. I've not yet tried it, but the ingredients are simple and short. So I'm going to use some cream cheese. I haven't put this in a bowl yet, but this is just regular fat cream cheese, some sugar-free syrup. The brand I have is IHOP, but I've used the Log Cabin one before, and I really like that as well. And then 2 eggs. That's it. So I have my bowl set up on my scale here because it calls for 2 ounces of cream cheese. So first you're supposed to put 2 ounces of cream cheese in there, and I've got it set up to measure it in ounces. So I am going to see if I can, and this is not softened, this is right out of the refrigerator because it tells you to melt it in the microwave. So see if I can get a whole bunch more cream cheese in there. So it's a 1/2 ounce. There's 1.2 ounces. .9, and I think that'll call it. So I'm gonna reset that. And then the next thing it tells you to do is to heat up the cream cheese to soften it in the microwave for about 20 seconds. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Okay, so that's done. I've now got my 2 eggs, and I just put them in this bowl, and I'm just going to kind of give them a light little whisk. It doesn't really say to do that, but I just feel like it would incorporate a little bit better if I broke up the eggs just a bit. So I'm gonna do that, and it says to add the eggs in there, and then optionally, which I'm going to go ahead and opt for, and I didn't mention before, it tells you can add a packet of sweetener. I've got this packet of Stevia, and I'm just going to add that right in here. And then it calls for a tablespoon or 15 grams or mLs of sugar-free syrup. So I'm going to wait for I'm going to switch it, and I'm going to add roughly, hopefully right on the money, but let's see, 15 grams. So 16, a little bit extra, but that's okay. So it says to add that and then stir it together. It says it'll be a little bit lumpy with some chunks of cream cheese, but that's to be expected. So I'm going to try and incorporate it. I think this is a really good idea as far as a low carb breakfast goes because, like I said, the ingredients are very few and you get that little sweetness from the syrup and reminiscent of your pancakes and waffles and everything that a lot of us miss on a low carb diet. So after you've got it blended pretty well, like it did say that it would be lumpy, and I'm sure you can tell mine is pretty lumpy with cream cheese. It then says to go ahead and microwave for 45 seconds and then stir it again. At that point the egg should probably, I would assume that it's going to solidify just a bit and begin to cook. So I'm going to go put this in the microwave for the 45 seconds it recommends, and I'll be right back. Okay, so after 45 seconds, this is what it looks like, and just as I thought, the eggs did start to cook a little bit. I cooked it in this big bowl since it was clear, and just for convenience, I thought I would be able to show it to you in the video easier, but you could probably cook this in a large mug and make it portable. So anyhow, next it says to go ahead and stir the egg mixture up again, and then it should get a little bit creamier. So I think it's still pretty lumpy, but I don't know that that's necessarily an issue in what the outcome of the final product will be. This is a pretty substantial amount of fats and protein with these eggs. Like I said, it's 2 eggs and 2 ounces of cream cheese. I suppose you could half the recipe and do it for just one person, or you can even make 2 servings out of this for maybe you know, you and a friend, you and a spouse. So I think that's about as good as I'm gonna be able to get it. It looks pretty creamy. I'll tell you, it smells delicious. So yeah, now it says to go ahead and cook it for another, let me see, 2 minutes. It says it'll soften in the middle, and if it's still soft when you check it in 2 minutes, then you can flip it over with a spatula and cook it for another 20 seconds. So we'll see what it turns out like. I will check in at the 2-minute mark and show you what mine looks like. Be right back. Okay, so here's mine after 2 minutes. It looks pretty good. I don't see anything runny or soft, so I'm gonna take my little spatula here and just kind of run it around the edge and see if it appears to need to be flipped in additional times. So, it doesn't stick or anything, comes out pretty easy. I see some runniness. I don't know necessarily that I'm concerned about it, but for the sake of the video, I think I will go ahead and show you what it looks like once I flip it over, and I will go ahead and reheat it for another, I think I'll just do 10 seconds because I really think it's done and I don't want to overcook it. But just like I said, there was just a little bit of runniness in the middle, so I'm going to go put this back in the microwave and I will be right back. Okay, so here it is after I microwaved it just a bit longer. I ended up doing 15 seconds on it. So I'm just going to now plate it up. Oops, sorry, hold on the noise. So I'm just gonna remove it from my bowl. Ooh. Yeah, this is a very large portion. I would suspect that you could definitely share this with somebody. So I'm going to scoot it off of here. Yeah, that looks pretty substantial. It smells so good. So let me see. It says to go ahead and top it with a little bit of sugar-free syrup to taste. I would imagine you could use some of that like powdered stevia on it. Serve it with a couple slices of bacon, even some fresh berries. If you eat berries like strawberries, blackberries, blueberries would be delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half. Looks very much like scrambled eggs, and they feel so fluffy and so soft. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm totally out of frame, but they feel so like soft here, and it looks good. So I'm gonna taste it and we'll see what the verdict is. Very good. I could definitely eat that again. I think you'll really enjoy this. I think this is going to be a new staple to my morning. Thank you so much for coming back and watching, and until next time, thank you.